bidding manually for all campaigns with meta ads is the most efficient way to scale.
Money efficiently in that amount of time, these are the completely different topics.
I definitely believe that cost controls have a very valuable role to play. I do not believe that resolution to be true.
Meta will spend your entire budget no matter what. If you're lucky enough,
are these 100K spend days a day? Are these 10 to 20K spends a day?
The budget utilization is not the priority.
In this episode of Meta Debates, Jordan and Andrei go head-to-head on one of the hottest topics in media buying, manual bidding versus highest volume scaling. Jordan argues that flexibility fuels growth, while Andrei defends control and precision. From bid caps to inventory chaos, they break down what really drives efficiency in meta ads. This is the cost cap showdown.
Or is this just generally, like you're saying, this is the only possible way to scale? Why do you really truly believe that bidding manually in all campaigns is the only way to scale on Meta? What do you mean when you say scale? What is the definition of what we're going to talk about when we say scale?
Yeah, that's a question.
All right, guys, we are getting started. For those of you guys who are live, we're just taking care of a couple of things in the background here. Super excited about today's debate. Probably won't be quite as contentious as last week's, but super excited to get into this. Let's do a couple of intros sort of while we go live here. Andrei, I'll start with you and make sure that I've got that right. Give us just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and the side of the debate that you are coming in at today.
All right, so I used to be project manager in a big IT project in Russia, here, which is highly developed. Here, IT industry is highly developed. And I switched to marketing around 10 years ago. And around 3 or 4 years ago, I switched to cost controls. Why? Because one evening, I was launching the ads, and in the next 3 days, I was observing the performance. I was that happy media buyer that was launching the ads and testing it. And the performance in these 3 days was perfect. And then, as a happy media buyer, I decided to bump the budget on Monday, right? And then, for some reason, the CPA went way up. And I started to think, why it didn't happen? Because the ad was good, the performance was more or less consistent. And then it struck me because the demand went down, the budget went up, and the CPA also increased. And it led me to a point that I cannot control the cost because I don't have any information about the outer environment, about the daily active users, and so on and so on. And then I started to test bid caps, cost cap, and cost controls overall.
Really great to have you here with us today. I'm super pumped about this conversation because this is something that has taken place so often on X, right? The amount of, I'd love to actually get Grok to go through and figure out how many. I bet it's in the tens of thousands of arguments that people have had back and forth about this. I feel like I've been on both sides of this over the years, right? I was actually telling Andrei before Jordan came on, I actually have totally switched some of my thinking, right? And being okay on this side after going so hard, like a social commerce club, we're huge on TikTok Shop. GMV Max is only cost controls. You cannot really do anything else. There's for the most part, it's pure cost controls, which makes me think, I wonder if they know something that I don't. Jordan Menard, tell me where you sit when it comes to this, and would love to just hear just a little bit about your background so people understand. And then we're going to get into some opening arguments. We're going to be going back and forth. This is going to be a little bit different than last time again, guys. This is a little bit more of a friendly debate on this, but I do want us to be able to allow a bit of time to actually go back and forth. We're going to be opening up the comments here as well on Riverside. Please let us know if there is time for Q&A. I can see that the chat's already going here. Let's get into it. Jordan, tell us a little bit about who you are.
One question. Are we still debating the...
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Just wanted to, because I prepared stuff for it, so I wanted to make sure. I'm Jordan. I'm obviously a huge nerd. I prepare debate arguments in my spare time. I'm a Christian. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. And I'm the co-founder of Instant Hydration. I've been in marketing for a long time. Spent a lot of money on a lot of ads. And yeah, I'm here to negate the resolution. And the resolution is that bidding manually for all campaigns with meta ads is the most efficient way to scale. And while I definitely believe that cost controls have a very valuable role to play, I do not believe that resolution to be true.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it. Okay. We got some language I can't read here. Okay, great. In the side. Andrei, we're gonna start with you, and you are for cost controls being. Jordan, you want to read that resolution again?
Resolved, bidding manually for all campaigns with meta ads is the most efficient way to scale.
Andrei, let's hear it from you first. I'd love to hear your argument of why. Why do you really truly believe that bidding manually in all campaigns is the only way to scale on Meta? Number one, can you just let us know a little bit about, like, Taylor Holiday tagged you in on this conversation, right? We were going to have Taylor come and discuss, and he said, no, get Andrei. Why? Why are we having this conversation with you against Jordan? And why would Taylor, of all people, tag you in on this?
Well, I post a lot about the manual bids and about like that we scale brands with manual bids. And I think Taylor, CTC, and Andrew Ferris as well, they also use cost controls, and they vote for infinite creative volume and bid caps, right? And like, I'm also a supporter of this topic. And let me share the screen, like the screen directly from Meta.
Go for it. I love more screen shares than we had last time. I just want everyone to understand. And then just a quick, let's just get some definitions out of the way. So one thing that Jordan said in here as well is what do you mean when you say scale? What is the definition of what we're going to talk about when we say scale?
Yeah, that's a question. That's a great question, because spending money efficiently and spending money efficiently in that amount of time, these are the completely different topics, right? So on Meta, due to the information from Meta itself, so we have different bidding models, and bidding models, they can bid either for cheaper CPA or highest volume, highest value, right? And we are talking about the lowest cost right now, which means we bid for, like, we are talking about the minimizing the cost per result, CPA, right? So with the highest volume, the priority of the algorithm is to spend the full budget and maximize the delivery and conversion volume over a strict efficiency goal. What it means? It means that, like, if we speak in plain English, like if we translate it in plain English, that Meta will spend your entire budget no matter what. And if you're lucky enough with this creative, with this landing page, it will pick you the low-hanging fruits. But if there are no long-hanging fruits, like, you will still spend the full budget because it's the priority and get nothing. With bid caps, it's the completely opposite situation, right? So the budget utilization is not the priority, right? So you manually set the maximum bid across auctions rather than let system bid dynamically based on cost goals. Like, what it means? It means that we are literally telling Meta that if you are not able to get the conversions at or under our bid, you don't have right to spend. And this is the basis of the strategy, like, of the strategy that I preach, and that is not controversial to what Jordan is saying.
So I just want to make sure I just want to make sure here that we understand what kind of scale are we talking about here, right? Are we talking about we've got some questions here. Are we talking about are these 100K spend days a day? Are these 10 to 20K spends a day? Or is this just generally, like you're saying, generally, this is the only possible way to scale at any level?
Yeah, I know Jordan is spending like 100K a day, like that was mentioned in the comments. Like I've personally experienced, I was spending like 50-60K a day. Like that's not 100K a day, but it's still a volume. And this was on cost control.
Why didn't you go beyond that volume? Why didn't you go to 80 or 90K a day?
Well, probably I didn't do a lot of homework.
You put the budgets were, I'm assuming if you were running all cost caps, very high, right? You were probably spending roughly 50% of your budgets, right? So it wasn't a budget thing. You wanted to spend more. It just wouldn't spend, right?
I completely agree, Jordan. And probably I didn't do enough of a homework with producing more creatives. And this is the creative question, not of a budget question. Because like if you set up the $500,000 of the budget on the campaign level or on the asset level, it won't spend, because budget is not the main constraint. The constraint is the bid. And probably like there were not that enough creatives to spend on.
Jordan, I'd love to hear your opening arguments here. Against. Thanks so much, Andrei.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm kind of having to adapt live for what I prepared for versus what this is. And it doesn't sound like there are a lot of term definitions happening. So normally that's the affirmative's job, but I'll do this real quick just so we can like set the rules of what we're going to talk about and have a good, structured, organized debate. I definitely think it's great to be kind, but we also have to be organized so the people listening can have like a good experience. Okay, so the resolution was that the manual bids are the best way. Bidding manually for all campaigns with meta ads is the most efficient way to scale. If we define those terms, I think efficient would be lower CPA, right? Lower cost per result will be a good definition for efficient. Andrei, do you accept that definition?
Yeah, of course. Like lower CPA,
yes,
while increasing the budget.
Yes, and that's what scale is, while increasing the budget, right? I think the question then becomes, what is scale, right? All the people that follow me know that I am interested in scale with a K, that is 100K a day. But let's, for this debate, say anything, north of 2 million a month, right? I think that's a fair, I don't consider 30K a day scale. That's just not million a month. I know a lot of people spending $1 million a month, and you can have one really good creative, a couple good whitelisters and get there. Why I say 2 million a month in ad spend is because that's where it goes from I made a good creative and I had a good landing page to I build good systems that allow this system to scale to a height that without those systems, it could not. Therefore, I propose based on that criteria to, this definition for scale would be the best. So if we accept that resolution, which Andrei does, then this debate isn't even me versus the affirmative, right? It's Andrei versus the resolution. He has to prove why he has to show the screenshots, right? The burden of proof is on him. How does he prove that bidding manually for all campaigns with meta ads is the most efficient way to scale? Now, I have two contentions, but the one thing I want to remind you guys is that my burden as the negative in this resolution means that all I have to do is prove that either one, Andrei's arguments don't link or are illogical, right? They're built on a bad premise, or two, provide a counter plan that can get all the benefits of his plan without all of the drawbacks. Okay, well, first let's look at those drawbacks, which bring us to contention one. Efficiency is not control. The A sub point is the interpretation. The affirmative assumes that more control equals more efficiency. But in Meta's ecosystem, efficiency isn't how many levers you pull, it's how fast your system learns. Manual bidding replaces dynamic optimization or dynamic bidding optimization with a static moment of human judgment. And Andrei's going to say, well, I raise my bids. Oh, well, that's a trap, because Andromeda, the entire system of content recommendation, will set all of your campaigns into relearning. And I should have let Andrei just walk into that trap, but I think it's a little bit more fun if I let him know that these are coming, so he's always paranoid. The B subpoint is the internal link. The link number 1 is volatility at scale. Manual bidding collapses under volume. I asked Andrei during his opening argument, why didn't it spend more? The budgets were high, weren't they? And guess what? They were. Do you know how I know that? Because I've done it 100 times. I don't use lowest cost because I want to. Once again, same reason I don't make a bunch of creative. I promise you, the line item of creative on my balance sheet sucks. Or sorry, my P&L sucks. I don't like spending that money. I do it because it works. Manual bidding creates volatility at scale. The second link is it's straight up algorithmic punishment if you only rely on manual bids. Since Advantage Plus, CAPI 2.0, Meta's system punishes rigidity. It optimizes for signal velocity and data continuity. Manual bids fragment those signals and slow learning. Andrei made the argument, it's a creative question, not a budget constraint, when I asked him why he couldn't spend more. Well, what if I told you, Andrei, that your creatives won't spend because of your bid constraint? Therefore, you won't be able to test creatives that are needed to get to that volume because you will get too many false negatives in your creative testing campaign. Link 3, which is human limitation. Humans can't react to auction dynamics in real time. Algorithms respond in milliseconds. People respond in hours. By the time you change a bid, the auction's already different. You're reacting inherently, right? So it's already changed. Efficiency requires response and speed, not manual pride. The C subpoint, and then I'll go back to Andrei. The impacts, why this argument alone wins me the round. Impact number 1, efficiency breaks before scale. Manual bidding introduces chaos at a higher speed. Delivery becomes unpredictable. It resets learning when you change budgets. Impact 2, algorithmic efficiency outpaces human precision. Impact 3, the resolution self-destructs. The resolution claims manual bidding is the most efficient way to scale, even if one automated outperformer disproves it, right? So if I can prove that one situation might outprove this, then Andrei cannot uphold the resolution. With those 3 impacts, I think you should vote for the negative.
Thanks, Jordan. Andrei, rebuttal. Jordan, you're the expert on the debate side. I'm the expert at 700 and something podcast episodes of talking back and forth like this. I like the structure. Yeah, I know. Ian, I agree with you. Debates are very fun. And Jordan, you're an absolute.
I put the structure in the chat. I thought we all aligned on it. So it's that same structure, right? Like you have the opening, and then you have the opposition, and then you have this would be the member of government speech. Andrei, so now what you want to do is you want to attack all of my arguments that have been made against you, and then reiterate your affirmative position of why you should win the round, and then tell everyone why they should vote for you.
Okay, like I'm here for someone voting for me, like because Taylor just ruthlessly attacked me on X account, and now I'm here, right? And like in the last 2-3 years, I'm mostly using bid caps and cost controls in general, right? So my argument again, I'm going back to the screenshot, right? Just a second. The screen, the entire screen, and this one. So I have 3 monitors, and here you see it, the third one. So Meta says that with the highest volume, like this is the official Meta documentation, like I got it from Union Levy, and it tells that highest volume maximizes the delivery and conversion volume over a strict efficiency goal, right? But the priority is to spell the full budget. What it means? It means that Meta will spend the entire budget, right? And it will pick the low-hanging fruits if there are the low-hanging fruits. If there are no low-hanging fruits, still the priority is to spend the full budget. With the bid caps, the budget utilization is not a priority. What it means? It means that if meta forecast shows that based on like 10 impressions, 100 impressions, 200 impressions, it says that if dots don't connect in meta forecast, like we won't be spending on this creative, right? So meta tries to connect the dots between the expected CTR and expected conversion rate, right? So what expected CTR is, it means that meta spreads a few impressions, like 100, 200. It's pretty much enough to understand, for meta to understand whether people stop on this image, start, like staring at this one, like I don't know the exact English term for that. And meta understands this pretty much quickly, the CTR thing. And the second parameter, which is expected conversion rate, like it's from my understanding and from my conversation that I had with Meta developers team. They were not the sales team, they were not the reps, they were just literally the developers. So, and I asked this question, like, what are we talking about in this conversation? Like, and they said, yeah, we measured that. And the expected conversion rate is measured on the URL, and it is managed on the account wise. It's managed account wise. Like if dots don't connect, then Meta suppresses the budget. So Meta explicitly says that the most efficient way, it's still the bid caps, because here in the highest volume, efficiency is not the priority. Like they are saying it like explicitly here, like maximize delivery and conversion volume over a strict efficiency goal. That's pretty much it. Do we have hard times scaling the accounts that are on bid caps? Of course we are, because like not every creative deserve spend, not every creative deserve spend and scale. That's why we have to pump like hundreds of creatives into the ad account to maintain the spend, like even more to scale. So based on information that is provided directly from the platform, and like I'm not Charlie that is saying that Meta is trying to trick us or somehow like whatever. Like I trust Meta developers information. And
I do too. Yeah, I do too. There was a whole big misunderstanding in that previous debate of me saying that Meta talking about the technical underpinnings of how their platform functions is somehow me saying that I take the Power Five as gospel. It's very weird, and that's what debates are for, right? Is so we can engage with nuance, we can drill down into things. And so let me address some of the things that you said, because I actually think that we agree on a lot of this. I think that you're just missing a bigger picture, and I have a way that we can prove it. Okay, so you talk. I want to zoom in. I'm going to concede on everything you said. The one thing that I'm going to go to is when you said not every creative deserves the spend. How do you know that? And also, that tells me that you don't produce creative, right? Because when you have creative on your balance sheet, and you have when you have it on your P&L, and so there's a cost to it, right? And so there's a cost to it. And so this idea that not every creative deserves ad spend, well, that's just inherently not true. If it's already gotten capital, why would we not spend an extra $150 to test it, right? I spent more than that producing it. From a business perspective, I don't get that. That's not how I look at things. I see more opportunity costs there than not spending the cash on ad spend, right? If it becomes a limit, I will just lower the budgets that how much spend or how much cash I allot to this month's investment in creative. Secondly, I will bet you $1,000 USD that if you make a lowest cost ASC and you take all of the losers that you are in your account from all time with that got no spend or less than, let's say, $100 worth of spend, I guarantee that campaign would function efficiently. Guaranteed. And that would prove that your thesis is wrong when you say that not every creative deserves to spend, or at least that your thesis is not best examined with manual bid only, because that would prove you are missing winners, right? Which that goes back to my opportunity cost argument, everything. A lot of people are in the chat are wanting me to kind of explain how and what before all of this, when I was imagining this debate to be like the actual debate, I was planning on winning a counter plan. And the counter plan that I was going to propose is use lowest cost to test and use manual bids to scale. What I like about manual bids is exactly what you said, that when the auction requires you to pay more than your bid, then they stop spending. However, Andrei, if we're being 100% honest with each other, I don't guarantee, I would bet money that if we went into your account right now, a lot of the bids that you had on your campaigns would be a higher CPA than what you wanted to accept. Is that true or false?
Answering the question. So
yeah, just the question, because I have one more thing to say and then I'll pass it back to you. True or false, in your accounts, there are a lot of instances where the manual bid is higher. If you got the result that you put in the bid, let's say the bid is 130 and you raised up the bid in order to get delivery because delivery, got destroyed. And then you got it and it was still working. But if that bid came in at what you put it into the ad set at, you would turn off that ad set, right? It wouldn't be profitable. Is that true or false?
I understand the question, but I want to add the clarification. So, if it's a new ad set, I would increase the bid, inflate the bid a little bit by 20% from my target CPA. And why? Because we are in the thing that is called second price auction. What it means? It means that, for example,
that you pay what the guy below you bids.
Exactly. So let me.
And I thought Facebook switched to a Vickers Grove auction.
Could I please?
Is that not true?
No. Could I please?
Go ahead. Sorry, keep going.
Finish my thought. Just my phrase. So, if you finish.
Well, but sorry, I have to correct you. I'm sorry. You said that it was a second priced auction. Google is a second priced auction. I'm pretty sure that Facebook is a real time algorithm that charges you based on the harm that you cause another advertiser. This is a Vickery Clark Groves model. I could be wrong, but no, I'm right. Here, can I share my screen?
Yeah, Jordan, go for it. You can share, and then Andrei, you can have a chance to answer Jordan's question after.
Yeah, because this is super important, right? If what I'm about to show is true, then it greatly affects Andrei's argument. Because if it's not a second priced auction, then you actually don't get the price that the person bid below you. So let me share. I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. So right here, I just typed what type of auction is Facebook, and it says Facebook uses a real-time auction-based model for its ad buying, specifically a form of the Vickery Clark Groves auction. In this system, an advertiser's ad competes against another's in real time. The winning ad is determined by combining factors including the bid amount, estimated auction rates, ad quality, and relevance. The ad that creates the most total value is selected to be shown to a user. And if that bidding is dynamic, right, and if it's not what you said, then that means if the bid is just part of it. If I have a high bid and a low relevance ad, that high bid harms me because I'm trying to bid out someone who's more relevant with a bid, so that chokes delivery.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But if you agree with that, it destroys your entire argument.
No, it doesn't destroy my entire argument, because still manipulating the bid, it increases or decreases the delivery, right?
Yes, but so does budget, right? If budget is your only constraint, you do the same thing. And second question, do you optimize your business off in-platform metrics or blended metrics?
Of course, I optimize my business based on the blended metrics, not only on the.
So second follow-up question, how do you know what's bottom of funnel and top of funnel in your ad account?
Like, we use third-party data like Triple Whale or other tool, like, or breakdowns, to monitor like new customer CPA, new customer ROAS, but it's a little bit outside of the topic. I would love to get back to the optimization model and to scaling with bid caps, and what really constraints are, like, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, Jordan. Let's let him have. And sorry, guys, I just want to apologize. Number one, for not keeping a little bit of a tighter leash on this here. Jordan and Andrei and I had actually agreed to a certain structure.
I think we are 90% aligned with Jordan. Like, we're just preferring different styles of scaling the accounts, and I think
and it should be noted there's a quantity difference there too, right? Between 50 and over 100.
Absolutely, and I think it's not even a debate right now, because we're pretty much aligned on our positions. Because I am voting.
We're not,
for,
though. We're not. I don't think you fully understand my position.
It's not a battle. I am not trying to destroy. Like, and from what I see, Jordan is also not trying to destroy me. Like, we are trying to
a debate doesn't have to destroy,
share
right?
knowledge.
It's about the pursuit of the truth.
Totally.
Yes,
it's
about the pursuit
just
of
because
knowledge,
the last one might and
well,
that's what we need to get out of this.
Both of us are engaging in
totally
good faith. That's why this debate is going well, and
Ian actually has a really good point
Andrei,
here. Andrei right now equals bid constraint, and Jordan equals budget constraint. Right? Interesting thought there, Andrei. I just want to give you the floor here for 2 minutes, okay? Just to respond, because I know Jordan's asked a bunch of questions here. I just want to hear Andrei out for a second.
All right, so I will be short. so imagine Walmart on Wednesday morning, like, and imagine Walmart on Sunday afternoon. The amount of customers is different on like Wednesday morning and Sunday afternoon. Like, imagine you're on auto budget, like automatic bidding, like you pay $100 a day and you have just two customers browsing around, and your CPA is like $50. Like, you pay the same amount of money on Sunday afternoon, like, and there are 20 people that are willing to buy, and your CPA goes down to $5, right? And if we apply the same situation, like with bid caps and inflated budget. Why inflated budgets? Because we need to have that room to scale, not to bribe Meta, because like many people say that, like, if you set up like $500,000 a day or $1 million a day for budget, like, it will somehow let Meta know that you are willing to spend that much on that day, and would like propose you some kind of audience. No, that's not. Like, the only thing that it impacts is the daily pacing. For example, if you sell the sleeping pills, the most of the customers will purchase from midnight to 2 a.m., right? And the second one, that on the days with higher demand, Meta will just have more room to scale. So the idea of bid caps is not to just to suppress the spend. It is just to allow you to spend as much as possible, when possible, on the day with the high demand, when it's possible. That's why we usually have those forced peaks across the months, which are mostly weekends, like for majority of the brands, where we spend like 3x 4x times more compared to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because the demand just grows And if we would have spent that money with automatic bidding, probably I'm not claiming that it is 100% correct. Like for many brands, like it is more like consistent, but for majority of the brands that we work with, uh, the daily volatility on lowest cost means the CPA volatility, and the daily volatility on the brands with bid caps or cost controls in general means the spend volatility when we maintain the same CPA like across the months, for example, but the spend varies from day to day based on demand. And this is the core, this is the basis of the strategy that we utilize. Like, do we need more creatives for that? Of course we do, because again, what I mentioned before, not every creative deserves the spend. But again, answering Jordan's question, uh, it's a little bit between the like agency and between the client, but we don't call ourselves an agency, like it's not a promotion at all, because the agency think like when you charge per creative or so on and so on, we charge per performance. And like if our creatives don't spend, it's on us. We don't limit the amount of creatives that we deliver in order to maintain the spend. Like if it doesn't spend, we don't get the money. Like if it doesn't spend, client doesn't spend, we don't get the money. So it's in our interest to produce as many creatives, as many effective creatives as possible, to scale the brand as much as possible, right? And if we don't scale the brand like to 2 million a month, again, like I can say like it's on me, it's my fault, because I didn't produce that many creatives with that efficiency. So
Jordan, I want
the
to give Jordan
the responsibility.
I want to give Jordan a chance to respond. You have. I'm going to give you 4 minutes here. You want more, Jordan? I can give you more. I'm making up the rules.
No, 4 is cool. But here's the thing. I want to be able to ask questions to him. And then if he doesn't answer, like push him, and then you not interpret that as interrupting and like just give him another session. Cause my entire argument got cut short. Cause, so can I have 6 minutes to make an argument? And
I'll give you 6 minutes, Jordan. I like you. You can have 6.
Okay. Thank you. Our arguments doesn't mean I'm fighting you, right? I'm trying to have a good discussion. And in good discussions are, I have this idea, another person has this idea. Let's evaluate them, attack them together, and compare, right? So when I say argument, I'm not trying to fight you. I'm just trying to present an idea. Okay. So everything that you said is built on the concept of understanding the algorithm as a second priced algorithm. Okay. You just learned it's not a second priced algorithm. It's not, that's not the auction. The auction is not second price. Do we understand that?
Jordan,
yes or no? No. It's just a quick question. I got 5 more minutes. Jordan. I need to make my argument. Please just answer the questions. Yes or no? Yes or no. You thought it was a second price auction. You've learned that's not true.
Jordan, like if you will need another minute or two, I think Jordan West will allow you to have that minute.
Andrei, just for the sake of debate, I'd love for you to just answer that as a yes or no of understanding.
Bro, you talk for like 7 minutes. I'm just asking you a question.
The answer is in the note of the, it is not about the second price auction at all. So your question is not related to the second price auction at all. We are talking about the bid that is the constraint, right? That limits the ad delivery.
Yeah, got it. We're good. We're good on that, Jordan. You can keep going.
We're good. Okay. No more questions. Okay. You said that every creative doesn't deserve spend. I said that you don't know that. You're presuming that. I then explained why your cost, the way that you set bids is very fallible, because auctions change dynamically and you respond in hours. None of these arguments were responded to. And so in a normal debate, those would be called concessions, right? If those concessions were granted, then it would be very hard for you to win just on those two arguments alone. And in my rebuttal, I would collapse out of every single position and just go all in on that. However, that's not the structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain how I run ads, and then we can talk. So I believe that the only constraint should be budget. The reason is everything I said before about how the algorithm changes all the time, how the auction changes all the time, and how a Vickery Groves auction charges you based off the harm that you cause other advertisers. It does not rank you on bid amount, right? I would love some type of engagement on that point, because I don't understand how you can engage with that and still think that that bid is what's best for scale. The other thing I'm going to say is I do use manual bids when I'm running affiliate offers. Affiliate offers have a hard CPA that you can't go $1 over. They also, you don't own that traffic, right? You don't own that customer. If it's a brand, it's totally different. And here's why. When you're spending 100K a day, if the next day you spend 50K a day, because your bid said that actually the auction was going for 65 and you bid 62. Well, guess what? I wanted those customers at 65 because I have an LTV tail. On top of that, I lose all of the email pop-ups when all those sessions go away. I lose all of my abandoned carts. I lose all of my remarketing traffic. My bottom of funnel audiences get lower. So then what does a cost cap maxi do? Raises the bids. And now you've started this spiral where eventually you're going to get stuck at 40 or 50K per day and you're not going past it. And so you think, let me test more creative. The only problem is you've destroyed the learning of your account. It's all coming on this one number that isn't even real, right? You go off blended metrics. It's not even real. You don't even know if it's a top of funnel ad or a bottom of funnel ad, or maybe you do. Maybe you do adjust budgets based off TOF, BOF. That would be smart. If you're using third-party attribution tools, that's what you can identify. So that would be smart. And I'll just presume that's what you do, right? Even then, the auction changes faster than you can update those bids. And if it is a Vickery Groves Clark auction, then it's rewarding my flexibility, not my rigidity. You are adding a constraint beyond budget, and now you're pretending like the budget constraint doesn't exist because you're putting budgets that are higher than what you actually want to spend, knowing that your cost cap ad set can only deliver half of it. This is why there are times for cost cap, there are times for lowest cost or highest volume. Ian asked, what does it actually mean that it charges based on harm to other advertisers? If you are buying a position on someone's feed, right? You are buying someone's attention, right? That attention could have been sold to another advertiser. Let's say that you have a relevant score of 5.5 and someone else has a relevant score of 3, then you're going to win most auctions because your total value is higher than the other advertiser. The harm is, well, now those other advertisers don't get that placement, right? That's the harm. You're buying placement, someone else could. That's a sale they could have gotten, right? And so when that's how Meta's algorithm actually works. Bid is just one tiny little component. Putting a static number there makes no sense, right? The only time it makes sense is when you're an affiliate and you can't go $1 over, but even most affiliates don't do that, right? Because they know that constraints increase cost. Last thing I'll say, if you're an affiliate, and one more minute, if you're an affiliate, you know, right? Let's say you're running 65 and older traffic, right? Twitter dad, Jason Applebaum, this exact example on Twitter, right? Let's say you're running 65 plus. If you go in there and you put ad targeting to 65 plus, even though that's the only customer that you get paid on, your cost will go through the roof. You won't be able to run ads. But to Andrei's argument, that constraint is good. It's telling Facebook, this is what we want. All the pro affiliates know, run it a quiz funnel that asks them their age on the first one. They hit 65, and then you only fire the pixel on the next page, right? Meta's going to suck for a couple weeks. It'll catch, optimize, and then run, right? Constraints are not good. They can be, right? We need them, but we should simplify them. You should have one constraint, which is why I scale nowadays most of the time with highest volume.
Jordan, you nailed the timing. Andrei, do you have a rebuttal? And I just want to explain here. So the idea with this is to attack any of Jordan's arguments that he has made to help us learn, right? That is the whole point of this, right? Attack any of the arguments that he has made in this that then help your point.
Right. That was a long speech. It's hard to pick like multiple things, but from what I understood,
You can have 7 minutes. I had 6. You take 7.
all right. So the first one regarding the affiliate offers, I also know the guys from the affiliate space. From, for example, the super awesome affiliate chat, like I like Vivek Gupta and the guys like John Castro. Like I'm sending you the hello. Like the guys are uploading 500 creatives a day, 1,000 creatives a day, 2,000 creatives a day with beat caps, and this works. Why? Because the limiting factor for them is not the budget, is the beat. And if something is working, like even if one thing out of 1,000 works, it scales. The second one, you mentioned that, like, what else? What else did we have there? So
So I would love to hear you address the ecosystem effect. Like when your cost cap cuts your traffic, you lose sessions, which loses your email pop-ups, your add to carts, and your bottom of funnel audiences contract.
it is not the beat cap or meta question at all. Why? Because if you are okay to get those emails, if you're okay to get those checkouts or add to carts, you need to adjust your business metrics and your expected CPA closer, like lower probably, like in order to have some average numbers, because they convert better like after 7 days or like 14 days, 28 days, whatever. Because I would position it like that. If on one day, like you're getting the conversions for a little bit more expensive price, and then for cheaper price, and then for a little bit more expensive price, then you should adjust your cap above to proceed getting those conversions, right? Because otherwise, you're just losing money on acquisition, and the same thing you would be doing on the lowest cost, right? Because on the lowest cost, on those days where beat caps would not have spent, you would pay more, and you would pay.
But you get no traffic.
Yes, but you would have paid more for those more expensive conversions, and you would have burned money.
Jordan?
I know, but you lose all those leads. Those leads have value too, and
They have
you're just
value,
assuming...
but you should adjust your delivery to your value, to the value of your leads. If you are getting the leads for more expensive price, why would you buy them?
For the sake of learning, I just want to step in here for 1 second. Jordan brought up an interesting point and there was some interesting stuff in the chat there that I just want to talk through here. As business owners, right? So I owned a bunch of different brands over the years. Most of them were in apparel, and we had massive issues with inventory turnover, right? And Jordan, I really want you to talk to that, because I think as a business owner, I understand as somebody buying media who doesn't have a connection to business, I totally understand the bid cap idea. I do not understand it from a business owner standpoint who is sitting on $1 million of inventory that needs to be churning through. And that is just one part of your calculations that you need to make. So Jordan, I know you said that you were going to talk about that. Just for the sake of learning, and because we have 8 minutes left here, I just want to talk about that because I think that's actually some real value that we can bring to people here.
Yeah. What specifically?
Well, specifically so if you have nothing coming through, you still have inventory that needs to move, right? When you are sitting on large amounts of inventory, and if you bid cap and it's like, okay, well, there's not that bid cap demand there. That has always been my argument against bid caps, is that, well, we need to move inventory.
So But Andre's argument would be get better at forecasting, right? Which I think is actually a pretty good argument, because your marketing and your finance people need to be like this. They need to be hand in hand, right? So the finance people should be fully aware of whatever the marketing strategy is. I think the point is, are you okay with the volatility that comes with manual bids when your traffic jumps around and gets cut in half? I personally am not. I think the inventory thing is downstream of the ecosystem thing, right? You luckily will not have to order inventory because your demand will go down when you are getting less emails. You will have a worse Black Friday, right? I don't know, for us, when we scale, especially, let's say we got a hot one, right? The offer's great. We got a few bangers. Everything's working the way it should. There comes a point where I come to my main media buyer and I say, all right, bro, send it, go, right? No budget, just send it, right? Some of those days, I can't even tell you how much he spent. Like, the number will shock you, right? Multiple six figures a day easily, right? And so when those days happen, right, you have to ride the lightning. You can't, if you raise budgets hard one day and the next day CPA goes up $4, you can't just drop all your traffic, because day 3 will never come. When you're scaling like that, we're sending more emails, more texts, because that's giving us customers that we pay no CPA on, brings our blended CAC down while we get all of that traffic. And then the next day it happens again. And we can be precise with our spend because we have one single constraint: budget. And that allows the most precise, efficient scaling in my own experience.
But with this budget, you have the volatile CPA, but it doesn't mean efficiency. And the core of this conversation.
We go off blended CAC, not CPA. You do too, which is weird.
What does efficiency mean in English? Like, I'm Russian. Like, explain to me what does efficiency mean?
Efficiency means a lower cost per result. But if we go off blended CAC, I'm not talking about cost per result in platform. I'm talking about new customers in my Shopify store.
Yeah. All right. Another volatile thing.
That's what blended CAC is, though, right?
Yeah,
and we align on that.
It is. Like, and if you want to sell your stock, the best way, like, from what I've learned in the fashion business, like, is to sell to your existing customers, like, just to send a email blast, and align it with the Facebook campaign, like to make the hero image in the email aligned with the hero image in the creative that you deliver to your customers on Meta. Like, that's the best way to sell your current stock. Like, I have a lot of experience, like, with working with the big brands in the US, but it's like, again, let's get back to the efficiency. Like, we are talking about efficiency and about the bidding and efficiency thing, right? On call traffic. And we are not talking about the blended thing right now. And, like, my bet on that is that highest volume is still like a great thing. Like, 100K a day of spend, like, is no joke. Like, you mentioned that. Like, I admit that your approach works. Like, but manual bidding also works. But
fully agreed. Manual bidding
that's
is
not
great.
That's not the question, though, right? That was answered. Is that, like, manual bidding is the only way, right? And we've seen people preach this time and time again. I think it's clear. I just want to, just for time's sake here, I think that it's clear that like, in this discussion, Jordan, you've given a really great sort of outline here. What people actually, just to get a little bit of value out of this now, what people really want, Jordan, and I'd love for if we can do this, is just a quick Q&A on some of these questions. We've had a million questions come in.
Yeah.
I got to go. I got 3 minutes. But I got hard stop.
No problem. I'm on the exact same thing here. So let's answer a couple of these questions here that we can. Jordan, you've got the chat up there. Mind picking out a couple of these bigger ones?
Yeah. CJ asked, what about auto rules when you use to scale highest volume? I said 0, absolutely none, free climbing only. Those rules will come to kill you. Anything black and white, not good. I want one single constraint, that is spend, right? That's it. I want one constraint. So anything that adds a constraint to that, I pass on, right? Ian said that, well, how much are you scaling ABO test ad sets by day? Good question. It varies. I'm not a fan of like one single hard rule for everything, but like if something's crushing, we'll double it, right? If something's doing okay, 50%. If something has a $5,000 budget, we raise it less percentage than if it has a 500, right? Like it's all relative. When you talk about how to graduate winners, CJ, we have become more conservative on this. We let the winners prove themselves longer in the ABO. Oftentimes, our creative testing campaigns will be the biggest spenders in the entire account, even though they all start at $100 ABOs, because we slowly and steadily increase them. And then we take those winners once they have, let's say, 5,000, 10,000 in spend, somewhere around there. It's really done by feel. I know that's weird for such an analytical platform, but that's why human media buyers still have the edge. And then we set them into a scaling campaign and they get deliver it or they don't, right? Typically a big scaling campaign, there'll be like 1 or 2 or 3 ads that get all of it. And then maybe like 4 other ads and that like get a little bit, but Meta likes its winners, right? That's why you don't test in ASC.
And you're scaling with ASC.
Start an account. Yeah. We like AC. We like manual bids. Like, I'm not against manual bids in any way, stretch, or form. I think that they are a good addition. They are a bad main strategy, right? If I was going into battle and manual bids were a weapon, it would be in my backpack, not my primary.
Guys, I just want to say thanks so much for coming. We're out of time today. Jordan, you got to take off. Andrei, thanks for coming. Guys, we're going to attempt to do more of these, going to tighten up exactly what the rules on these are, the preparation that needs to happen on these before we come. Jordan, really appreciate your time. Andrei, really appreciate your time. Thanks everyone for coming. And thanks, I actually learned a lot. So thank you. Thank you all.
Like 1 hour is not enough.
It's not enough.
For sure.
It's not enough.
It's not enough because like I would have spent another couple of hours with Jordan because like the discussion is interesting. Like, and he has to share a lot, and I have to share a lot.
Oh, totally, absolutely. And Andrei, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. And let's.
How does my Russian English sound like?
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I super appreciate it, guys. I'm going to stop here just because I also have a hard stop that I got to run to. So.